Alright, welcome to episode 3 of my Steven Revisi-Verse series, my current ongoing Steven Universe series. We did one where I looked back at old episodes and then my reviews of them to compare my current thoughts with my old ones, and look for more theory fodder, obviously, in those old episodes. Look for still unanswered questions, stuff like that. And we did one where I looked back at my old theories. We're going to alternate between the two of those, so we're going back to looking at episodes and my reviews of those episodes today. I think this is going to be a lot of fun. Despite the fact that one of the two episodes we're going to be talking about today is Cheeseburger Backpack. And I still don't like Cheeseburger Backpack. I'm going to aim myself at the camera a little better. I'm going to have to look at the screen in a second. But as for right now, I could be talking directly to you guys. I still don't like Cheeseburger Backpack. It still has those really off-model animations, like... No Steven Universe episode is entirely on model, I know. But there are some episodes where the characters are more off-model than in others, and this is one of them, and it really bugs me. And also, it's just... This is one of the first episodes that I tried to check out back when the show was new. And between it being kind of stupid looking and them using clips from the episode and the promos making the show look stupid, it turned me off to the show for a really long time. So I kind of associate this episode with that in my head, specifically with those promos that used clips from this episode and made the show look so dumb, right? Actually, let me see if I can find it real quick, that promo. Hold on. Is this it?
Steven Universe.
I'm my weapon by eating ice cream!
3 magical super beings.
Do you remember how to do this?
And 1 Steven. Steven Universe. New
Alright, that's not the one I was thinking
7
of.
Central.
It's one of the ones I was thinking of, but it's not the one I was thinking of. Yeah, it's a notification, doesn't matter. It's not the one I was thinking of, but it's one of the ones. Maybe there are several of them. I don't know. I don't remember exactly. But the early promos made the show look dumb. They didn't do it any favors. They didn't indicate at all that it was a lore show, which I guess at that point in time, that was kind of the point. We weren't supposed to know that it was a lore show yet. I don't know. Maybe the promos reflected what the creators of the show wanted us to think of the show better than I realized. But it doesn't matter. They're still bad. Doesn't change the fact that they're bad. And I still don't like Cheeseburger Backpack because I associate it with that early experience with Steven Universe for me. And I don't like to think about that because Steven Universe is now like one of my top 5 shows, you know? The other one, though, that we're going to be looking at is, of course, Together Breakfast, the episode right after Cheeseburger Backpack. And I really like that one. Or at least I like that one. So that's fine. That'll be kind of a treat. Though... Some of you guys may be saying, AJ, don't you really love the lore? There's so much lore in the background of Cheeseburger Backpack. But, like, is there really? Because the stuff in Cheeseburger Backpack, the lore stuff, the background stuff, the statuaries, the moon goddess, stuff like that, when we know that gems don't have a religion, it really comes across as early installment weirdness stuff that's intended to be retconned out of the show, like the specifics of it are. Though we did see, like, we didn't really hear them talking about goddesses and stuff later in the show, but we did see those statues later in the show, if I'm not mistaken. If I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong about that. It's been a while since I've done a full rewatch of the show, right? Am I just thinking of Attack the Light? I might just be thinking of Attack the Light, the more I think about it. Still need to find a way to play Unleash the Light on my channel. I'm getting really off topic. One of the reasons I'm not skipping Cheeseburger Backpack, because I could skip it. This is my show. I could skip it if I really wanted to. But one of the reasons I'm not skipping it is because my hope is I will stumble upon some detail that I've missed in the past, because I have revisited this episode several times before, right? But my hope is that I will stumble upon some detail that I've missed in the past that will help me form a theory to rectify the early installment lore with the current lore, if that makes any sense. So, getting right into that, let's just start the episode. I'm also going to be cutting the episodes themselves up a little more than I did in the last one. I thought about it, and I'm probably using more of the episode than I need to in my videos. Trying to be good about sticking to the law, right? Just look at that though. Look at his eyes there. That just looked bad. The audio quality of my version of this episode is so bad. Just looks so bad. It just looks so bad to me. Maybe it doesn't to you, but it looks so bad to me. I love his signature.
If I don't get signatures.
Fit in the fridge.
I mean, the gems look okay, but Steven just looks real stupid this episode. That's good, though. That was funny. Okay, never mind. The gems look terrible.
We have to place this moon goddess statue.
Now, the prevailing theory as to why the moon goddess statue is called the moon goddess statue, when we know that the gems wouldn't have named it that, is, of course, that a lot of gem stuff has probably been named over time by humans who have discovered it. So, at some point, the humans would have encountered this statue somehow in some context and given it the name Moon Goddess Statue, and maybe it didn't have a name before that. Like, maybe it was just, like, the Lunar Sea Spire key or something. And so the gems went with Moon Goddess Statue since it's a easier name to say, or something, right? And I think that works well enough to explain that little detail away. I'm still not sure about the statues, because the problem with the statues, brief aside, the problem with the statues at the Lunar Sea Spire is that they have multiple limbs. They have extra limbs, and we know that only cross-gem fusions have extra body parts, and that cross-gem fusions are considered taboo by Homeworld. Now, there's a couple ways to explain that away. Again, brief aside, sorry, we'll get back to the episode in a second. I'm not trying to avoid watching it, I promise. I definitely am. That's beside the point. There are a couple ways to explain this away. It could be that the Lunar Sea Spire is just old enough, just barely old enough, that it precedes that taboo. Because, yes, we saw when Ruby and Sapphire fused into Garnet, people reacted very strongly. But it's entirely possible that that was a reaction more to the fact that a low-class gem had fused with a high-class gem. And it wasn't specifically that they were cross-gem fusions, and that the specific taboo against cross-gem fusions came later, after Rose started employing cross-gem fusions in her rebellion. That prior to that, high-class gems were allowed to fuse with each other at, like, shindigs and stuff in order to entertain guests or experience things that lower class gems wouldn't have been allowed to experience. And that's what the statues are of. And now if I do manage to happen upon additional thoughts and details while rewatching this episode, I'm going to make a full theory about the statues, and that's going to be in it. So that's a little bit of a preview of a possible upcoming theory video. But either way, that's really the only way I can think of at the moment to actually work those multi-limbed statues into the lore, the later lore of the show.
Spire in its heyday. It was an oasis for gems on Earth.
Yeah, there's one of the statues right there,
It's
see?
abandoned now. It's perfect.
Like, what is up with his eyes? Why do his eyes look like that? And there it is, the Cheeseburger backpack. I still don't have one of those. I'd still very much like to get one. This scene's pretty funny, I guess, even if it does look a little stupid.
Come on.
Like, again, the animation just seems a little off. That's pretty cute, I guess.
I'm sensing structural instability.
Right there, touching her glasses and saying that she senses structural instability. Like, yes, obviously the thing's falling apart. It's an example of Garnet stating the obvious. But remember, Garnet perceives things different than other people anyway, right? But that's like the best evidence we had up until that dumb Cartoon Network crossover thing, that Garnet's glasses are actually Sapphire's quote-unquote weapon. That they have some function that benefits Garnet out in the field. Hence, they are, technically speaking, a weapon, and they could only come from Sapphire if that's the case, because we already know the gauntlets come from Ruby.
Steven!
Early series, Steven was a big dummy. Okay, even though I am like 99% sure that most of Steven's ideas in this episode only worked out of sheer luck and the fact that he's way stronger than he even realizes he is, I do like, I guess, that this episode, I'm trying to find good things about it, right? I do like that this episode shows that unconventional ways of thinking, apart from the kinds of thinking that the gems usually employ, the kind of thinking that Steven employs, is beneficial to their work, which is something that the show settles on a lot in the early episodes when trying to justify why Steven's coming on these missions, right? Like, you have to realize the gems have been chasing down, like, this isn't a corrupted gem mission, but the point still stands. The gems have been chasing down corrupted gems for hundreds of years, at least hundreds of years, if not thousands of years, right? And they still don't have all of them. They still haven't gotten all of them, even with future vision to guide where they go. And I think the reason for that is that some of them just think so differently than a gem that it's hard for the gems to find and capture them, and that Steven starting to go on these missions helped them to mop up the corrupted gems that they hadn't been able to get yet. Which, like, I know Steven was getting hurt on all these missions, and we know from SU Future that those injuries did actually affect him, but it does justify them bringing him along. Those corrupted gems could have hurt people, right?
Oh,
Yeah, see, there's one of the statues, extra arms.
Once the statues
I don't know what the shrimp are. I'm not even going to bother trying to explain the shrimp, though. Of course it's not going to work, man. Of course it's not going to work. Alright, I'm just going to end that one there. I'm trying to think. Have we ever seen other statues anywhere in any Homeworld installation ever? Did we see any statues on Homeworld? Oh, we did, didn't we? Oh, I have an idea. I have an idea of what those statues might be, and it's not good. Expect that video relatively soon on the channel. It's kind of disturbing. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm going to jump right into Together Breakfast, and then we'll look at my reviews of these two episodes back to back after that. Alright. I don't think I'm going to have a lot to say about this one. I mean, I like this episode, right? And I think the Together Breakfast looks delicious. I still have never made one. I'd like to make one, maybe for the channel. Our first real look at clear evidence of the Garnets of Fusion. That's pretty cool. Okay, this. This is like the one interesting thing that I should want to talk about this episode. Like, how is this a gem? But there's actually been a really, I think, good theory for that going around, that it's actually a whole bunch of gem fragments, and that's why its behavior is so, like, violent and animalistic and why it lashes out so much, because it's just a gem fragment. It, like one of the forced fusions, almost. It's a bunch of gem fragments sort of working in tandem, because gems were at some point ground up by a human and used to make this paint. It doesn't explain why Garnet says she has to burn the phone because of it, but that could just be Garnet weirdness, right? We get really good looks at the temple interiors here for the first time. That's always nice. And I like Pearl's little dance. I like her swords. I want several of them. I want to know what this one is. Why is the hilt that shape? Amethyst's room is still hilarious, and I want to go through it and inventory everything there. We still don't entirely know what the Crystal Heart is either. But I'm pretty sure the Crystal Heart is just supposed to be a gem power source. Like, it's a literal gem made to be a power source, like we see in ships and stuff, right? And there's our first look at Rose's room, which is great continuity. Yeah, that's just terrifying, man. Still one of the funniest lines in the whole friggin' show. So if it really was a gem, and it had to be a gem, all the monsters in the show are gems, then Steven just killed a gem right there. Alright. I mean, I guess it was fragments, and at that point in the show, they couldn't heal fragments anyway, so maybe it's justified. It was also trying to smother them in whipped cream and stuff, so it's probably okay. Alright, now my reviews of the episodes, which are both very short, so I'm probably not going to dwell on them for very long. Another day when I don't really have much to do, and another 2 Steven Universe reviews. My old intros were so cringe. Later on in an episode called The Test, when we realized that they were just testing Steven to see how he could handle going on an actual gem mission in this episode. In hindsight, it does make it a little bit better, but... True. Here they actually avert the trip. The gems are very much more competent than Steven is at this point. He really does have to learn and continue to grow. It's a good point. Despite that, though, he does actually come up with better ideas than Pearl. Okay, so it's not so much that the adult characters are just straight more capable than him. It's that they're capable in different ways, which is kind of what I was getting at earlier. All right, and I do go off on the animation a little bit. I cut around that because I already went off on the animation. You guys don't need to hear me do it again with shittier audio, rather. Yeah, okay. So let's move on to the next one. Still to this day, one of my favorite episodes of the entire series. All right, I would not stand by that anymore. Still really like it, but it's not one of my favorites anymore. It's also filled with a lot of firsts. This is the first episode where things are included very obviously for us to pick up on them and start guessing about the show going forward. I actually have a list here. Let's see. The old list gag. I list off stuff like Rose's room and the crystal heart and the 2 gems on Garnet's hands. I remember this one. I used to do the list gag a lot. I might do it again. I might start doing it again. I still find it funny, even though it's stupid. I love this episode. Like I said, it is still one of my favorites. Alright, that's really the gist of it. That's the gist of that one. Yeah, I still stand by what I said in these reviews, aside from I wouldn't call Together Breakfast one of my favorites anymore. Like, I still really like it, but it wouldn't be one of my favorite episodes at this point. I might... So you guys suggested I do like a top 10 overall favorite episodes. I might actually do that just to work out what they would be for myself, because I haven't even really thought about it, you know? But yeah, I have a pretty good idea for at least one theory video. Not gonna spoil what that is here, because it's gonna be a doozy, I think. But overall, not the most exciting, conceivable episode of this particular series. Still, that was fun. We'll have to do more of these in the future, and I do have other review series that I need to either get back to or get started on. I'm just currently trying to work out what specifically the schedule for those will be, but you can expect to start seeing more reviews again relatively soon. In the meantime, though, what did you guys think of any of the ideas put forth in this particular video? What do you guys think of these 2 episodes of Steven Universe? Do you agree with my thoughts on them? What is your theory for those statues? Who knows, maybe one of you guys will come upon the exact same idea that I just had, which would be really freaking cool. But anyway, let's get a discussion about it in the comment section down below or over my Discord, link in the description. But either way, this has been AJ22, and I will talk to you guys later.